Let me see. Recording. Recording. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flipping Miami by Raul Bolufe. I am Raul Bolufe, the host, the one and only. Well, actually, no, there's more of me. I'm the Raul Bolufe the third. But anyways, I have what an intro, right? I have Justin Colby here, good friend of mine, badass real estate investor from Arizona, fucking crushing it. He's got his own podcast, the Science of Flipping Show. I'll kind of just let him take it away, but thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm happy to be here with you and your tribe, and giving out all I can. So I'm excited.
Love it, dude. So yeah, man, let's just start and kind of like jump into who you are, what you've been up to, kind of, and where you think you're going next as far as like the real estate game, and just give like an introduction to yourself.
Yeah, so I've been around for a long time. Started flipping homes in 2007. I did it out of desperation. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I lost everything, right? Lost my home to foreclosure. I literally lost my car to the repo man. I walked away from $40,000 of credit card debt. In that time, I was a realtor, which, by the way, I hated being a realtor, just so we're all clear. But I also had no skills as a realtor, right? And I know you're also a realtor in Miami, and you actually have built skill around your business. At that time in 2004, 5, and 6, like, I was an order taker. I literally was just getting contract on contract. I had no talent involved in being a realtor. So when the market crashed, I didn't have any skill to lean back on. And so I just lost it all. I couldn't create business, right? So that's when me and my business partner decided, and at times we were friends, right? So we were best friends, and both of us were like losing our lives financially. And we said, what do we want to do? How are we going to get back out of that? And real estate investing was that avenue for us. So fortunate enough for me, I had one of my best friends said I could sleep on his couch. So I did, because I had no money to pay rent or anything. Yeah. And I just started cold calling like a madman. And I just did everything grassroots, bootstrapped it to finally get my first deal 9 months later. Very quickly after that, we got her 9 months. It took me 9 months to get my first deal.
Damn.
Right. And so imagine I have no other income coming in, nothing. So 9 months of like basically living off my friend, who was just gracious enough and generous enough to just understand. And he saw where I was going. Right. So he believed in me. At the end of the day, it's about people that believe in you.
Right.
And he believed in me, and he knew that if he just gave me enough time, I was going to get to where I needed to go. And he was that guy for me that helped me do that. And my family would have done the same. But at the time I was 26, I think. And I felt like I was an adult, and I didn't want to run home to mommy and daddy. Right. And so with that said, very quickly after that, I got my second deal, and that happens with momentum, right? When you start to gain momentum and that gains confidence, everything starts to swing. The pendulum starts to swing your way.
Yep.
So at that very moment, we only made about $14,000 total on 2 deals. And so it's not like financially I was this big success yet, but I did understand one thing, and that was I needed to be around bigger, better people, because there had to be a way to expedite this learning curve. So I actually invested. And by the way, I borrowed the money in coaching. I borrowed $25,000 and invested in coaching. It wasn't my money. I borrowed it. Shit. And I invested in coaching. And from there, I did 6 deals, and then 20 deals, and then 46 deals, and then 9, blah, 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 right?
Nice.
But that was the spark I needed. And I believe in it so much now that obviously I have my own podcast called The Science of Flipping that you mentioned. I personally work with clients one-on-one in a consulting / advising relationship. I have a whole Science Flipping Academy that can help with the fundamentals, because I got the value I needed from coaching, and I want to be able to give that back, right? And so that's where I'm at today. Obviously, as you well know, some of my partners, Kent Clothier and Sean Terry, we run the mastermind boardroom together. Yep. I'm currently in 4 markets: Phoenix, San Antonio, San Diego, and the Inland Empire, actively right now as of this day. So it's awesome, dude. I'm really excited. And I get to hang out with, you, and some of my closest friends have come from just being in this industry. So it's been great.
So you're basically just playing video games in your mom's basement is what I hear.
That's what I do. And I eat pizza and Cheetos all day.
Dude, so you said so much cool things that I think it's important. Little nuggets, right, to get. So one that stood out is like 9 months to get a deal when you have no money, no income. I mean, how many people give
Right.
up after 1 week, 2 months, 2.5 months, 6 months? You just kept going. And I think and you had told me your story before, the way that you're getting deals was just straight cold calling, right? Just straight hitting the phones.
That's it. That's because I didn't have any money, right? And then at the time, there wasn't as much education as there is now. So I didn't have the Rauls or the Justins or the Kents or the Seans really. So I had to figure it out myself. And the only thing I could think of was agents had deals, right? They had listings.
Yep.
So I just started cold calling agents, basically saying, how can we get a deal done, right? I'm an investor. I'm not a traditional buyer. Can we work? And I kind of just created this pitch around my vision, right? My vision was I want to buy 5 deals a month. I want you to be able to get a commission on the buy side and the sale side. And if you believe in me and my vision, then there's money to be made. And by the way, that is not an easy sell. I'm just shooting you straight, right? I was making 100 calls a day. I did not have Mojo. I just had a little cell phone. I didn't have a triple line dialer. So one by one. And I can't tell you, I mean, thousands of no's, thousands of hanging ups, right? Until I found the one right guy that believed in me, understood my vision, where I was going, and he got us our first deal, and that led to our second deal, and away we go. But
yeah,
you gotta have thick skin, right? And it takes that one guy to believe in you to help you go and get there and do that. So
that's like some of my favorite parts of like hearing these stories. I'm sure like you know so many successful people, and we're part of the boardroom mastermind, and everyone there is successful in their own way. So everyone has like usually a lot of the stories are kind of similar when it comes to like a mentor. It's like, hey, I borrowed the money, or I found this mentor who kind of trained me for free or very little money in the beginning, but he believed in me, Just need that one guy or like that one girl that's like just a step ahead of you to learn and just like push you over the edge.
Yep, 100%. I mean, I believe in it so much. I just hired an executive coach that has nothing to do with real estate, right? Awesome. I'm looking at joining another mastermind, which would be like my 5th that I would be joining and paying for. Like, it's just, I always have to surround myself with better people because there's just stuff that you don't know as you're going along, right? And it's the person that really believes, oh, I'm the best, I'm the, whatever. Those are the people that really get, even if they're good, right? They get stuck. They're not going to continue to grow because no one's there to push them, hold them accountable, teach them something new. There's always someone that's been there before you, right? And so for me or anyone really to sit there and say, I got this locked in. I don't care if you're doing $4 million a year wholesaling. There's someone bigger and better that can show you avenues that you're not thinking about.
Dude, something that I'm just like passionate about is like hearing these stories, and I'm really passionate about understanding like the first little twitch that happened in you to get you going on the path, right? So you became a realtor, and then you were doing well. I mean, yeah, the market, et cetera, but you still did well some way, somehow. There's a ton of realtors not doing well in that time, so you did something right. So what happened in your life or in your mind that you said, all right, I'm going to go from like being just like a regular, society, corporate type of person, or after getting out of school, to becoming my own, becoming a realtor, kind of working for myself? Like, what happened in your mind? Like, what decision did you make? Was it a one-day decision? Was it a one-moment decision? Did it take you a month, 3 months? Like, what happened there?
Yeah. So I don't think you're going to expect my answer. I've actually been an entrepreneur my entire life. And literally as a kid, what I would do is I'd buy a box of baseball cards, sit in the baseball card shop, open all the packages, and then sell back to the owner of the baseball card shop the valuable cards. So let's just use it. Like, I buy the box for $30, and I then go and sell him all the valuable cards for $50 and walk away with $20. I also would drive around in the mornings on recycle day and go around and pick up everyone's bottles and cans and take it to the recycling place myself, because you get, I think it was a penny or 2 pennies per can or bottle. And so I'd walk away from that with, $20. I would do car washing around. So literally, this is my childhood. I never did the lemonade stand, whatever.
Really, like car washing?
Right. I did car washing, right? Like, I bought a super power hose and like the whole thing. So I'm like, people want a cheaper car wash, right? and they don't want to leave their home. So I've always been built that way since I was a kid. And so when I went to UCLA and I got my degree,
Okay.
and at the time, a buddy of mine at UCLA was talking about starting a real estate brokerage. But he basically said, hey, my dad's a builder. Let me go figure out the real estate thing. Like, before we do this together, let me figure it out. I said, cool. So I actually went directly into sales, which was my own company. And I built my own sales company. And again, I didn't have a boss. I had a mentor of sorts, but I never had a boss. I owned my own company. I ended up hiring roughly 500 people. And we would go door to door, door knocking. Right. Yeah. So again, when I'm so high on cold calling and door knocking, because that's where I come from, and I know the success you can get from that. So again, I was my own boss. That brought me up to 2005, where I was living in Boston because my clients were like AT&T, UPS, Verizon, CenturyLink, and so they're business service clients. And so Verizon wanted me in Boston. I went to Boston. I caught pneumonia because I'm a California boy, so that place is cold.
That sounds like fun.
And that's how I got into real estate. Simultaneously, my buddy called me and said, hey, you want to get into real estate? And then I became a realtor. And then from there, an investor. And so quite frankly, I've never had a boss. I've never been in the corporate world. I've never had any of that training. I've never had to switch it off. I've always been an entrepreneur, and that's not easily replicatable.
Right.
So when I have to train and teach, part of me has to help them understand what they're willing to accept in life. And it becomes a little bit more of a mental game, because I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, an agent, an investor, it doesn't matter. You can make a lot more money than the employee. However, you take on all the risk. It's all on your shoulders, right? Like, there is no boss that you can blame. There is no, it's, you look in the mirror every day and you say, if it didn't work, it's my fault. And that's a very hard thing to be able to help people with, right? And so, in that space, I'll tell you, there's way worse leaders and business owners than there are employees. And that I've learned the hard way, right? When things weren't going my way, I would have to look in the mirror and be like, oh, crap, this is me. That's not them, it's me, right? So so I'm a little unique. And unfortunately, there's not that crazy epic story. I've been built this way forever. Yeah. I've always wanted money for a lifestyle. Like you and I know, like we talk about the lifestyle play, and that literally has been since I was like 6 years old. I would want to go, wake up at 6 a.m. to go get the cans and bottles to bring it to the recycling bin, so I could have money to go to the baseball card shop to buy the box of cards, so I could resell it to the home. Yeah. So I could then go buy comic books or buy candy,
different things
that my friends couldn't do. My friends were like, how are you able to buy these comic books? I'm like, at the time I didn't know. Now I look back, it's like, well, I hustled, and you woke up and ate pancakes or whatever, right? Yeah. Like,
they were really playing video games in their mom's basement while you were hustling.
Literally, they were doing that, right?
Dude, that's basically you've been a mini entrepreneur your whole life, and that's awesome. And I think everyone meets people that way. Some people are not, and some people become some. There's no wrong or right answer. I just like find it passionate to hear the story, because everybody relates to different people. Everybody has different stories, different views of things. So that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about real estate. So what's your team look like right now as far as in the wholesale industry?
It's really grown. I actually have been able to give, excuse me, I've been given a really incredible opportunity here over the last 60 days to really expand into Southern California.
Cool.
So it has changed drastically. We have now 4 people down in Southern California going and meeting with sellers, negotiating with sellers. We call them like acquisition specialists, right? I have a full-time guy in San Antonio, and then I have 2 here in Phoenix. And then I have, obviously that's not including anyone on the phones and cold calling and that kind of stuff. But then I also have 2 full-time follow-up agents, not agents like realtor agents, but agents like in my business that are just following up with leads full-time. That is their whole business, right? Because we're driving in so many leads from cold calling or direct mail, PPC or bandit signs, networking, everything that we're doing, right?
That's smart.
So it's been a whirlwind over the last 60 days. So it's a moment in time quite frankly, my business has never been this big, right?
Yeah. That's
And
even
we'll see
more
how
than
that
the last
goes.
time we spoke. I remember last time we spoke was, I don't know, in when we spoke about business was maybe like Punta Cana, which was, I don't know, 4 or 5
Yeah,
months ago. And it wasn't
yeah,
even close to this. So
no,
you've been out there.
yeah, and part of that is right people, right place, right opportunities. You know, as you know, you reach a level of success in business, and people start bringing you all these opportunities. Oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could. And so I've started to get better at saying no,
Yep.
um, and just saying I don't have the time. Sorry, can't do it. So it allowed me to actually see an opportunity that was coming my way that maybe I wouldn't have seen, and I
Mhm.
was able to take advantage of it. And that has helped me now, again, over the last 60 days, kind of be in this place that I can say, you know, we have 4 people in Southern California rocking right now. We got 2 people here in Phoenix. We have 1 in San Antonio, and it's awesome, right? But with that comes hurdles, right? I'm in meetings a vast majority of my day, right? Because I have a team that I have to overlook and drive. And so it's awesome. I mean, it's a very unique place to be. Again, it's about leadership. So I have to be on point all times, right? So, and quite frankly, as you grow, you watch what you wish for, because it will absolutely affect my personal life, honestly.
Yep.
Because I have now something in my sights that I'm not going to have the opportunity to, you know, fly to Miami on a Sunday and hang out with you and, you
Yeah.
know, wake up at noon on Monday. That no longer is going to be in my lifestyle, right? I
No,
just can't afford it, right?
no, we're perfect entrepreneurs. You can't be saying that on screen, right?
So anyways, you know, my point being is you got to understand what you want, right? And I'm at a place in my life that I really have this opportunity. It's really awesome. But I have to understand, like, it's going to limit my ability
Yeah.
to travel the way I was traveling, to, you know, do what I was doing personally. But listen, at the end of the year, you're going to sacrifice something. For me, right this second, I'm going to end up, over the next 3 to 4 years, I'm going to sacrifice some of my personal desires
Hmm.
to strive for this. And I'm willing to. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I just got engaged 2 months ago, not even 2 months ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like, we're already planning our wedding and our, you know, our bachelor and bachelorette parties and our honey. Like, we're already doing that. So I'm not stuck in the closet going to be working, but,
Right.
you know, I'm
Yeah,
going to sacrifice some of the other stuff.
dude, and that's such a good point. And that I kind of learned that like over, I think like becoming an entrepreneur, or like trying to run your own business or start your own business, et cetera, teaches you so many life lessons a lot quicker than if you were to, work in a job. And there's nothing wrong with being a job or anything. You learn different lessons in life. One of the lessons I've learned in these, five years I've been doing this and talking to people like you is your life has cycles. Whether you're 8 years old, 28 years old, 80 years old, your life has cycles. And kind of like what I'm hearing from you is, you're in a cycle maybe 2 years ago when we first kind of met, that you were like, you like to travel and enjoy. And not that you still don't do it now, but it was a cycle that you were going through. Now you're in a work
Right.
cycle, in a hustle cycle.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly okay. You're going to go through cycles because your mind just does different things. You get tired of, oh man, I've wholesaled for 8 years. I'm tired of that shit. Now let me try something else. Then you try something else. You know what? I want to go back into wholesale. It's perfectly fine. You just have to know yourself and know like what's going on. And I feel like that's when you get the biggest like growth. And not only that, that's when you make the most money in business. Probably now that you're over that cycle that let's say you wanted to travel 5 more times than you're used to doing. That's a cycle, right?
Right.
Now you're back and you're like, all right, now I'm back in business. This is probably when you're gonna elevate the most and make the most money, like bring in the most opportunity in this new cycle that you have. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. Right. And so you hit it right in the head. I had an awesome 3-year run.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. People are like, oh no, you should be hustling 18 hours a day for the first 5 years. There's no right or wrong answer, right? Like, is that an answer? Sure. Could you also hustle for 40 hours a week? Sure. It's all up to you, right? Maybe you hustle 40 hours a week for 2 years and 80 hours a week for five. Who cares?
Totally.
Who knows?
It's what you want to build, right? I mean, could I have possibly made more money not traveling as much as I did? Yeah, 100%. But I wanted to build a certain lifestyle at the time that really was awesome. And I can always look back at that and say, that was an incredible time in my life. And now is a new chapter, to your point. And now I have a vision of what I want to build. And that means I got to get back into the grind, into the day to day, into the hustle, bro, I travel back and forth from San Diego every week now.
No.
Possibly twice a week, every week. So I'm like constantly traveling. Like I just got back from San Diego late last night. My business partner, best friend, it was his 40th birthday, had dinner with him and his family. Now I'm here. I'm going to go meet with my team. I'm speaking at a Fidelity conference. I fly back to San Diego. Like, it's a hustle. It's a different type of hustle, but it's a hustle now. I'm back in the hustle, right?
And I'm big to not get so like philosophical. I'm just big on like everything happens for a reason. Like, so your life cycles happen for a reason. I mean, you met your wife to be through the traveling, right? So nothing bad, right? And we've encountered each other. We've met through traveling, through this, through that. So like things happen, and now this cycle in business. So the reason I'm saying this and I'm bringing this point up, kind of hearing this from Justin, is if you're starting out in this business, or you already have a team, or you're not even in this business at all, but you're starting out a new venture or something, it's okay to go through these cycles that you're hustling for a year straight of blah, 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 and then you're like, fuck, I don't want to hustle. Maybe let me take like 3 months, a little bit chill. That's okay. Just understand the cost benefits with it. There's no right or wrong answer, right? Sometimes when I do these meetups and I talk to newer people, and you do meetups as well, and you talk to a ton of through your coaching and stuff, you know, they're like, oh, but like, how many hours should I spend? Or what, like, they want the exact answer. I'm like, well, just know the more hours you spend, the better results you're probably going to get. But it's up to your life. It's up to you. Do you want to make, 100K a month, or do you want to make 10K a month? That's up to you. Then you use your efforts accordingly.
Yeah, you're hitting it right on the head. The reality is this: one of my best friends in the world is Brett Tanner. You know him well.
Yeah.
There's probably no one I personally know that works harder than Brett.
That guy's a machine.
And he has built a massive, not just like real estate, like he is the entrepreneur, like the typical entrepreneur, right? His hands are in 18 cookie jars and he's working for it. And that's what he wants to build. And him and I talk about this all the time. Like, there's a certain level of like, do I even want to build even what he built? Like, no, there's a certain level. So that's all about what you want to build. There is no right or wrong. And everyone's watching the Gary V's and the Grant Cardones, and I got it. And that's totally fine. I watch them too. Yeah. You don't have to be 100% them. And, you can adopt from things from them without having to adopt the entirety of what Gary Vee and what Grant Cardone and all these guys are saying. But that's up to you, right? And so I know there's some very successful young guys in this industry now that are just crushing it with all these different things. I got it, which is awesome. That's not where I want to play, and that's okay too.
Yeah,
so
perfectly okay. I love that. Yeah. And I guess we got a little bit more introspective, but I love that. I love talking about that shit. Sure. Probably people want to listen to a podcast. Oh, give me, what's the next golden nugget on marketing, whatever, which is cool too. But all this stuff is like feeds into marketing and sales, because it's all like whatever you feed in your brain is kind of like input is the output. We'll just got like 1 or 2 more questions. I always like to ask people this question. I think I might have asked you in the pool in one of these masterminds. I don't know. We're drinking, so I can't remember. But this is just a question I like to ask like big time players like you guys. What do you see coming from the wholesale industry? I know you did fix and flip and wholesale. You got a bunch of things, but what do you see as like the $100 million play?
My very knee-jerk reaction will be, asset building, right? Getting 1,000 doors, getting 4,000 doors, getting 8,000 doors. I don't believe it necessarily is in the space of wholesaling or rehabbing. I don't think that's a $100 million industry, right?
Yeah, no.
And let me take a step back with that. Like, if you had $5 million to spend for marketing, building a team, putting people on salary, like building out a real big company, could you get there in the wholesale rehabbing business? Yeah, I think you could. But that's not a Raul or Justin Colby or like no owner operator is going to get there, right? That's a different industry. So I think it's asset building. I think it's the, get us so many doors that you can sell it off in 30 years.
Yeah.
I think lending is the other space I would, knee-jerk reaction is, the bank only always wins all the time. Yep. And if you have enough money in the streets, you can build a very large, one of my close friends built Lending Home. He was one of the 4 founders, and it just valuated $1.2 billion in the hard money space.
No way.
Hard money. It's hard money. It's for you and me, right? So that is an industry that you could build $100 million company, is hard money lending in general, and buying assets. And I think between those two, those would be my answer. So yeah.
You're the first one that told me lending. I've gotten, commercial asset building, and also something in maybe like a real estate tech space, maybe like building some kind of software that allows closings to happen virtually or things like this,
Sure.
which, it's possible, maybe like another spin off to like a Zillow or Trulia type of thing that's a little bit more accurate, or, whatever. But the lending, I love that because the money's in the money. It's the oldest business ever.
Yeah, and they only always win. You know who always wins in the real estate space is a lender.
Yep.
Right? I mean, barring any catastrophic economic fallout, which happened, right? So barring that one thing, which is not common, they win all the time.
Yeah, love that. So, all right, cool. I love that answer. And I love that question because it makes people think. It always makes me think. I'm like, I like to hear a bunch of different opinions, just to kind of like see where everybody's head's at. So that's pretty cool.
Totally.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's give them, I know we talked a lot about stuff. Let's give them like, what's like your one, like right now, 2019, we're in May 2019. What's your one like tactical tip that you can give, like either a newbie, someone starting, or someone that's kind of just doing deals? Like what's like a good like tactical thing they could do to do more wholesale deals?
Focus only on marketing. Our business really is just marketing and conversion, right? Like you market for leads and then you convert them with sales, right? And if you only spend, just like I did, right? I was broke, busted, and disgusted. So if you're listening to this or even watching this video, whatever it is, dude, I had $0. I mean, I literally walked away from my mortgage, my car loan, my credit card debt. I had nothing. So marketing is everything in this business. If you have no money, cold call and door knock. I did it. So, and if you're not willing to, then you won't get to where you want to get, I promise. But if you have some money, start investing it in things like direct mail, potentially, hiring VAs to cold call for you, bandit signs, and quite frankly, you should be doing both. Even if you have a little bit of money, you should be doing both. It is a lead game. It is traffic and conversion. So again, I'm happy to talk at length about marketing. I just firmly believe that is it. I do 7 different types of marketing in my business, from direct mail, PPC, door knocking, which is like driving for dollars, bandit signs, voicemail drops, I say cold calling, networking. I actively network within my own meetup groups and others. Like I'm going to speak at the Fidelity National Title Conference here in Phoenix. So I'm always talking about what we're doing. So there's 7 marketing strategies that you should be doing 3. You have to be doing 3. Right. And so that's the tip. Focus on that. All the other bullshit, the building your websites, getting your business cards, setting up your LLC, nonsense. Focus on getting in front of homeowners. Period.
Yeah, paid marketing or sweat marketing. That's awesome, dude. But man, the information has been sick. I love this. This podcast was dope. It went deep. It went tactical. Did a bunch of cool shit. So yeah, I mean, tell people where they can find you. I know you got some courses. I know you have coaching things you spoke about in the beginning. You're part of a mastermind. Let's touch a little bit on how we can get some of our listeners, your listeners, to kind of like join this world and do deals, make money, like get a part of this.
Yeah. So I would say this. Obviously, I have my podcast called thescienceofflipping.com, or it's called The Science of Flipping. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's on everything, right? So Science of Flipping podcast, free information, just like your stuff. So you can go there. But here's where I really want people to go is go find me on social media. The Justin Colby on Instagram, The Justin Colby on Facebook. Follow me, like me, give me a comment. I give away a bunch of free stuff. Like I'm currently giving, I have 10 tickets left to the Scale and Escape event because I went and bought a bunch from Kent. So I give those away to the right people. I do, but I also teach constantly for free on my Instagram, The Justin Colby, on Facebook, The Justin Colby, YouTube. It's not The Justin Colby. It's actually Justin Colby VP. And it's all just free content. So get there, like it, follow it, comment, because you will just get nothing but content from me. So start there. I give away great giveaways there. And if you ever do want to talk to me, send me a message. I reply. That's the difference, right? Like I will reply to your question. So there you go.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's my friend. I obviously follow this guy. He's a content beast. He's always putting stuff on the Instagram stories in your car.
Mm-hmm.
I see you, and then you do the.
I'm about to go rocket it right now on my way to this meeting.
Yeah, I love that. And then you do the stuff in your studio, in your office.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Follow the Justin Colby on Instagram, right? The Justin Colby on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is Justin Colby what?
VP, like vice president.
Justin Colby VP. We'll put all this in the show notes as well. But dude, follow this guy, get in the world. And if you got to reach out to him, reach out. He'll write back. If not, then call 911. Someone will find you. Dude, but again, thanks so much for being on the show, bro. I appreciate it. I know you're busy.
Of course, brother.
Yeah, guys. So anyways, thanks for listening. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the bell, all that cool stuff. Love you guys. One love. Peace.
Peace.
Let me stop recording. If you ask for receive an email when they're recording.